Aquarius, hi, come on in. It's time for your Aquarius July 2020 reading with tarot and astrology and maybe some Nordic runes and maybe some Chinese I Ching and maybe some ancient biblical alphabet letters which have spiritual meanings that could apply in the circumstance. And if they do, I'll make note of them and mention them to you and bring them into the reading. You probably ask yourself, why is Nigel not wearing a jacket or a suit? It's because I've been doing some meditation, and I've been doing meditation for the Aquarius subscribers, and so you will feel, while you watch this, sense of peace coming over you, a sense of calm, a release of anxiety, and your feelings of confidence and esteem will increase, and you'll take a step into tomorrow as a new person. While the thunderstorm is going, it means that the rain is coming along, and I like doing readings while it's raining. In fact, I've been doing a number of readings for you Aquarians, haven't I, since last month, and it's been great to get to know you personally. And of course, if you would like to have a personal reading, there's the Three of Stones. It's got a Chinese I Ching character on it, which I'll go into as well as the astrology. If you would like to have a personal reading, then just check out the information in the description box and it shows you how easy it is. All right, such a great vibe for this, I think. Incidentally, that's a tremendous card. There's the Seven of Wands. There's another Chinese I Ching. Yeah, I know what they are, so I'll go into them and tell you what they mean for you. There is the Son of Stones in the West. Chief Seattle. There's the Two of Stones. So you've got the Two of Stones and the Three of Stones. There's a Chinese I Ching, so I might read the two first, then the three. That would make sense, wouldn't it? And there is the Wheel of Fortune with a Nordic rune, and it looks like it's the Elder Futhark alphabet, runic alphabet, and a letter from the ancient Hebrew alphabet. Here comes the rain, so let's get this reading underway, shall we? And make sure that, hope that the rain doesn't drown us out, and noise levels, that is. All right, can you see? Let's have a look at, actually I'm going to have a look at this one first, I think. This is calling me to do it. Now what do we have here? Well, it looks like there is a fabric which shows dark and light lines moving together. A whole signifies mystery, I think, the unknown source of life. Now, while we're in close-up, I think I'll have a look at this I Ching. I Ching are usually displayed as hexagrams, meaning 6 lines. Now, the lines can either be read individually, or in couplets, or in triplets, or as 6 together, which is what I'm going to do now. And this particular I Ching character here means enthusiasm. Well, enthusiasm unleashes enormous creative energy, doesn't it? It really does. And the effect is like powerful music that can inspire a great number of people to lose their constraints and throw up new opportunities. The power of enthusiasm is probably best symbolized by music and dance. It is guided more by the heart, isn't it, than the head? And good fortune can follow when an enthusiastic leader is a person of good character, one who is able to guide this positive energy towards a favorable enthusiasm. Now, enthusiasm in a personal relationship or in a group generates a special electricity. For instance, when the crowd at a music festival is charged up, the singers create new heights and life. They really get into it, don't they? And the shared experience of the moment becomes its own reward. And there is, as I say, a thunderstorm just gone through here, and who is not in awe of thunder? Who would fail to fill her or his lungs with refreshing air in the aftermath of a cleansing rain? Arouse the support of others while adjusting your ideas, is what I get here, and your plans to fit in with what their needs are. In this way, you can fill your sails with the mighty winds of popular support. Now, this is really the Lord of harmonious change. It is for me Jupiter ruling the first decade of Capricorn, that 23rd of December to the 2nd of January. Jupiter, the planet of fortune, and is also the planet of karmic change, and I see we might have something coming up here in relation to that. Although potentially inharmonious Jupiter in Capricorn, because Jupiter is all about expansion and Capricorn is all about, well, being conservative and practicality, because we're so high up on the tree of the suit, it's only the ace before it. I think that everything here works out really well for you. I really see change and transformation as coming about for you. Now, you may have to go in with the flow in your life and trust in the process of change so that you can find harmony and balance. I don't think there's anything materially or financially set in stone at the moment, so there's no negative aspect to it. It's all upside, I suppose, and what you make of it. But this card does remind you to make sure that your day-to-day affairs are in order, because this is really an energy here of good management of your practical affairs and finances. Now, I know it might sound like a drag, but getting on top of bills and chores is as important as pursuing the more enjoyable activities of life, I think. Now, let's have a look at this card, the Wheel of Fortune, because I think this is going to amplify that issue of change that raised its head. Let's have a look. There it is. Well, this is, of course, the Wheel of Fortune. The wheel is set against a field of stars, symbolizing the cosmos. Now below, down here, can you see this figure here? This is, I think, the mother, the earth. At the upper left-hand corner, up here, is Zeus, the sky father. Now at this upper right here, there is a sort of an androgynous-looking child. The child with its wizened face represents humanity and our ancestors. And inside the wheel there are mushrooms growing which symbolize good luck. The snake here, I think, symbolizes rebirth. There is an eye over here, can you see, as part of a sort of a creature. Well, that eye, I think, represents time. Yeah, the dinosaur. All things coming about and lost in the turning of time. This Nordic rune here, it's part of the Elder Futhark alphabet of the Vikings, that were discovered by the king of the Viking gods, Odin. Well, he discovered their mystical meanings anyway. Now this particular rune that's here, see if you can see it a little bit closer. This is Jera, and it suggests that the results of your earlier efforts are going to be realized. It's a time of peace and happiness, a fruitful season. And this is an energy that can break through stagnancy. There are hopes and expectations of peace and prosperity here, the promise of success which has been earned as a result of your application. It's also talking about life cycle, cyclical patterns of the universe. Everything changes in its own time. And what, you may say, is this thing here? Well, that actually is the 11th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It's called Kaf, and it means literally the cupped palm of the hand. It is like a cupped, outstretched palm, ready to receive. It's the shape of all containers, a bowl, a cup, a jar. They're all based on that basic curved shape. And Kaf, therefore, represents the idea of a container. It represents form. A house is a form that contains the goings-on of the people inside it. A body is a form which contains the life and energy of the person. The forms of the physical world are where the spiritual essence of life is able to manifest. I think that this energy in this ancient biblical letter is teaching you to shape yourself, to bend the ego, and to shape your character. The calf is what gives form to the matter. It contains all the possibilities of containing, building, and forming all existence. It is the letter of formation, bending the straight line into a curved shape. You must bend the matter to the spirit, and the spirit to the matter, constantly connecting the thought of wisdom with the action and doing of it. It is not enough to have a thought to do good. You must find a way to manifest it in reality. I think this also teaches you, or asks you, to contemplate about what you contain. Do you contain worries and negative thoughts? Or do you contain what you most aspire to in order to make it into a reality? This is the Lord of the forces of life, and you can see here it is governed in this card by, I'll show you, by Jupiter, which I agree with, the planet of expansion, good luck and good fortune. I think that there are changes in your fortune coming, and that they are going to generally be good. There's a real sense of destiny around here. Also luck, chance, and opportunity of winning. There will be some ups and downs, of course. There's a lot of fate associated with this. And it may well be that there is a life-changing meeting about. Now, this can represent, I think, unexpected change in your life, but it's a change that will be favorable, but which may not necessarily seem that way at first. Be ready to act on any unexpected opportunities. When times are good, stay centered, because things can change, and they always do, don't they? And if you think that things are challenging at the moment, don't be discouraged, because things are going to get better. Change is about to happen. Now, you may need to alter your present course or change things around to set the stage for the right outcomes to come into your life. And if you struggle against the course of life, you become like someone who is struggling against the wheel and become crushed beneath it. Stay in the center of the wheel, because then, despite the ebbs and flows brought by time, you will never be shaken or broken. And if you stay centered to your own truth, you will always get through inevitable hardships. Let's have a look at the card which is above it, because this is standing there to say there are some things which could be happening, but which you know to dissociate from, because things are going to turn out well. However, this is what it has to say, I think, for you. Let's have a look. Well, what does this scene really present to us? Well, the scene is peaceful, I think, though the sky is cloudy. The spears rise out of holes in the rock, which I think is active humanity striving upward. The ball above, you see it up here behind the 7. Now, the 7, incidentally, numerologically for me, has a real mystical association with the planet of Venus. But this ball is, I think, the non-material world of the mystic. And seeing as we are in focus, let's see what this I Ching has to say to us. Now, I'm looking at it here. What is it from the bottom? Feminine, masculine, feminine, feminine, masculine, feminine. This means deliverance. And I was talking about a thunderstorm before, wasn't I? Well, a feeling of clarity and fresh opportunity follows a thunderstorm or any time of extreme tension or obstacles. The storm has had the effect of clearing the air and suddenly reducing atmospheric tension. This symbolizes that some kind of deliverance is at hand. Yeah. In the wake of a storm on land, for example, deliverance can appear in the form of new color and life, which bursts forth in fields and flowers. In the realm of human relations, the rain of forgiveness can wash the human landscape clean, I think. Can't it? I think you'd agree with that. Yeah. I think that great clarity of purpose and renewed vigor can follow the healing of old wounds, but care must be taken to avoid accidentally reopening these wounds by moving too quickly, I think. Similarly, I think it's important to return to a period of normality before moving ahead with new plans or projects after a period of stress. Now, this is, I think, in this position here, and with this Wheel of Fortune underneath it, I think that this is really Mars in the 3rd decan of Leo, with Venus coming into the picture through the numerology of number 7. And the energy, see, this is Wands, the energy of the suit of fire is weakened this far away from the ace. Remember how I said this was close to the ace? Well, this one's getting further away from the ace is being 1, of course. So you kind of get a wavering of equilibrium. And I think that the feminine energy of Venus further dilutes the strength of fire in Wand. Now, Mars in Leo, well, in my experience, Mars normally gets on very well with Leo, but in this case, being so low down and far away from the ace, that harmony does not exist. And the feminine energy of Venus does not sit well with the very aggressive energy of Mars. Now, you may well think that there is a time coming up where it is your Mars energy which is pretty much all that is keeping you going. It feels like you are, in some respects, fighting a losing battle, that you are pushing through obstacles. Sometimes you may even feel as if, my goodness, I'm standing on a sinking ship. Maybe you haven't been dealt the best hand here, or even things in the background don't seem to be going well for you. But they are. There are things going on in here which are, through the spiritual nature of cause and effect as expressed in matter, are coming to your aid. Now, I'm going to talk about a relationship problem here. You may think that you're running out of energy and ideas as to how to keep sustaining a relationship. Now, that could be related to work, a work matter. And a work matter, you may feel that you're coming to the end of your tether. But remember that being true to yourself includes standing up for your own truth, even in the face of immense resistance. Trust your power. And if this is the case for you in your present situation, you must assert yourself at all costs. Are you ready to accept all consequences? Be aware of whatever fears have prevented you until now from asserting yourself, and have this thought in mind: I express my own reality openly and honestly. Let's have a look at this guy. Where is he? Here he goes. Well, if we have a look at the image here, really what we have, well, we have someone called Chief Seattle, and I'll discuss him in just a second, but look at the image. I think it's quite interesting. His hair blends into the rock. The eagle feather on his head is a symbol of the Plains people, and it indicates, I think, that he spoke for all the natives, as it turns out, in Washington State in northwestern continental United States. The lightning bolt from the whale here, and it is a whale, I think, really symbolizes, I think, the bond between humans and animal. Now, Chief Seattle was a Suquamish tribe, and I think also the Duwamish tribe chief. They were in what is today the state of Seattle. He was, of course, a leading figure among his people. And what he did was he really worked with the white settlers, or invaders, however you might want to call it, and formed to pursue a path of accommodation. And so as a result, what I guess is the inevitable occurred in that part of the United States, but in a way which had a degree of peace and a minimization of the shedding of blood. The name of Seattle, the capital of Washington, is named in his memory. He is really the prince of the chariot of Earth. I think people that are going to be important to you are going to be Taurus and Aries. Look, this is a young man, is what I'm getting here. Now, sometimes the energy with these court cards can relate to both genders, but someone who is energetic, a capable manager, and a steadfast worker. You know, sometimes, you might get the feeling that you feel a bit dull, with the things that you're doing. I think you'll be slow to anger, but look out if you do happen to have had your buttons pushed. The character's one of great energy brought to bear on the most practical matters. This guy is, I think, energetic and enduring, a capable manager, a steadfast and persevering worker. He's competent and ingenious, and quite thoughtful and cautious, but he's trustworthy and doesn't take setbacks well. He doesn't get knocked backwards. And he's very good at finding new uses for common things. He can adapt to circumstances and turn them to his advantage with a slow, steady, well thought out plan. I think what this is saying to you is that there is a period where you'll be taking responsibility for your life and becoming more focused. You may well be quite good at physical activity, sport. You'll have an interest in design and building things, and this will extend to things as well as cooking, decorating, fashion, gardening, fixing things up around your abode. You'll be putting a lot of effort into practical things, I think. Just be careful of your emotional warmth. Some people may think that you could be lacking in emotional warmth and you may not be in touch with your spiritual nature. But this is a time when you are going to be very goal-oriented and want to sort out the material side of your life. That is like health, career things, and those things which are tangible to you. It's a time to take action. And if you do so, important experiences will result. What activities do you enjoy? What activities would help you towards self-realization. Find a physical creative activity in which you find joy and fulfillment. And have this thought in mind that I am finding work that fulfills and satisfies me. Let's turn finally to this outstanding card of the Three of Stones. See that material earth everywhere with you. Well, this is the Three of Earth, the Three of Stones. Now, you could say this is representing spirits going up, but what strikes me most about this card are these three stones in the middle, which seem to be in perfect harmony. And I'm really getting the feeling of the Hindu philosophy of the gunas. And the gunas are now a key concept in really nearly all the schools of Hindu philosophy. And there are three of them, according to the worldview, that have always been and continue to be in all things and all beings in the world. And these three gunas are called sattva, which is about constructive things, harmonious things, goodness; rajas, which is passion, activity, confusion; and tamas, darkness, destruction, chaotic. Now, all of these three gunas are present in everyone and everything. It is the proportion that is different, according to the Hindu worldview, and it is the interplay of these gunas that defines the character of someone or something, or of the nature that can help determine the progress of life. Now, what's important about these things here is that, to me, they all look like they're in balance. And I think that this is a time, see, there's nothing wrong with having thoughts at all, whether they're destructive or anger or love. There's nothing wrong with thoughts. Thoughts are what it means to be human, but it is, to what extent are they really, I suppose we can say, helping us get through. Now, I'm looking at this I Ching here, and the I Ching, it talks about fellowship. Well, yeah, well, really, if you get community bonds that unite a group of people, then great success is possible. But, such bonding only develops if personal interests are subordinate to virtuous human relations like open communication and empathy. The broader the perspective, the greater the good that can be achieved, and the greater the potential good, the more powerful the support behind it. A spirit of cooperation steadies the boat for the good of all, doesn't it? Though it does help to have a beautiful island of high ideals to row towards, I suppose. I think that this is talking about you learning to respect and harness the power of diversity, because community strength lies not only in its numbers, the number of people, but in the diverse skills and collective resources of its members. You can have a really strong wall that is reinforced by different materials. The strongest groups benefit from tolerance of differences, strengthening the fabric of the whole. And with a unified group solidly behind you, even difficult enterprises can be undertaken really with virtually no risk. Now, this is the Lord of Material Work. Again, I have Mars coming into your spread here, and this time I have Mars coming into the second decan of Capricorn. Now, Mars, you will know, is about energy, assertion, and vitality, and Capricorn is about ambition, practicality, and making things tangible. Now, in ordinary astrology, so you have Mars in Capricorn here, but in ordinary astrology, Mars is also exalted in Capricorn. So the energy of Mars is extremely constructive in this scenario, rather than its very often destructive self. So I see things which are coming about which could be like new activities in a job or a career, getting career satisfaction, you doing a good job, continued progression, actually being very productive at the things that you do. I do see teamwork involved here, and that's not surprising given my comments on what I feel from that I Ching. I see you consulting with others and perhaps also getting outside help. Look, I really do see a reward for your hard work and dedication, and we were talking about that before. Your skills and knowledge are going to move you forward. I think there are good outcomes here, good energy for career, business projects, and practical matters, because this is the suit of material things. And again, looking at these three stones in balance here, I think you need to follow things which are fulfilling for your body, your mind, and your heart. Life generally, I think, for you is going to be in balance, and you will reap the rewards of a balanced life. You'll have the great ability to stick with things and overcome obstacles. So, set your sails and let the wind fill them, because it's time for you to move forward. Well, that is the way it is for you this month. Well, there you go, the month of July 2020, and it looks as if there's going to be great things in store for you, and that's great to hear, because you deserve good things to happen to you. You certainly do. Look, you were fantastic during that reading, as you always are, and really, there's really only one thing left for me to say, and it is this, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.